Hello everyone, hello. That's here with some more Final Fantasy XIV. Let's pick our new pet for today. We get Wind Up Airship. Excellent. So, we just finished off the peace talks in Doma, between the Empire and Doma, okay, so essentially, we got word that Gosetsu and a young woman were seen trying to cross the Ruby Sea after Gosetsu sold his katana. Alphino went and bought said katana for the asking price and pissed the right fuck off out of Tataru. So Tataru made certain he knew that he was a fucking idiot. Anyway, we pursued the Ruby Sea and found the Empire attacking the Confederacy, trying to get to Gosetsu and Yotsuyu, who was still alive, but her mind had been shattered. She didn't remember who she was, she didn't remember what she did. So, we take Gosetsu and Yotsuyu to Hien, who basically says he's going to hold her here in the Enclave. When a Doman, when the Empire is sighted at the Castrum, we go there and we find out that there's a ambassador from the Empire named Asahi, who is Asahi Sus Brutus. Sus? Yeah. He has the same last name as Yotsuyu. It is her brother. He approaches Hien with a bid for peace. So Hien meets with him and he explains, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. In order for peace to happen, they want the Domans to release all of the Empire citizens that Doma has as prisoner. But they also want Doma to publicly forego summoning so that no icons ever get summoned. And also, finally, police the Red Kojin to make sure they don't summon anything. All very important points to the Empire, apparently. Hien tells him that Yotsuyu is in his care, but she doesn't remember anything. So while Hien and them deliberate, we go for a walk with Asahi around Yangsha, so he can see his homeland again, and he protects a kid getting attacked by the Red Kojin. Upon return, Hien talks to us and he explains that he won't be giving Yotsuyu over to the Empire if her memories don't return, because technically at that point she is a citizen of Doma. She'll be known as Suyu, and she won't remember everything she did because she's a different person. Well, Gosetsu is grousing like an old man when Yotsuyu is trying to feed him, and he talks about how he really wishes he had a persimmon. Now, Yotsuyu, having the mind of a child, thinks, oh, okay, I'll just go get him a persimmon. So she fucks off to town. Well, she gets to town, and the people are like, the fuck are you doing here, you bitch? And they start, like, haranguing her because, well, she kind of tortured them for 20 years. Notwithstanding. But she doesn't remember any of that, right? So the hour comes by, and she kind of gets flashes of her memory of what she did, but not complete understanding of it. So we go to meet with Asahi to show him that Suyu's memory hasn't returned, and he presents their parents to her, and it gives you a few more flashbacks of the kind of people her parents were, and they were awful people. Just completely shitty people. Abusive, like, beyond belief. But instead of, like, getting her memory back entirely, she just, like, falls to the ground and clutches her persimmon that she got, and turns around and heads back to the Enclave to give it to Gosetsu, which she does. But then, despite claiming they'll keep a better watch on her, they somehow fail to keep a watch on her, and she fucks off again. And you find out she got her memory back, and the first two people she's confronted by are her mom and dad. Yeah, and her mom talks about how she's a disappointment and how she's ruined everything for them, and they don't realize she's got her memory back, and her dad's like, hey, you fucked everything for us, but hey, you are a pretty girl. Maybe we can sell you to the best bidder and, you know, make some money and go live in Kugane. And she's like, you know what, if I'm a beast, I may as well embrace that side of me. And she turns around and kills her dad and then stabs her mom in the back, killing them both. Our character only knows about this because she saw it through the echo. So she fucks off with Asahi back to the castrum. We go to the castrum where Asahi has these weird containers set up, and Hien's like, hey, what's with all these containers, like, you know? And he's like, oh, these are just building materials for Doma. And then Yotsuyu shows up and she taunts Hien and basically pulls out this little mirror that Hien gave her, and all the crates open it up, and it's not building materials, it's crystals. And she uses it that and the crystals to transform into the primal Tsukiyumi. And Asahi's super fucking happy about this because, oh my god, a Doman citizen just summoned, our peace negotiations are now null. Not like he didn't like set this all up anyway. So they only went with that because Gosetsu was fond of her, Jeremy, and he didn't want to upset Gosetsu any more than he needed to, because Gosetsu basically gave his life for him but ended up surviving. So it was more of a favor to Gosetsu than we want to keep her. So you fight Tsukiyumi. Tsukiyumi got her ass kicked because we're too good. As she's laying on the ground, Asahi comes up and explains, you know, like, one thing I forgot to mention. Asahi's veil falls briefly after the initial talk with Hien, and he like comes up to you and he has like this really fucking sinister look on his face, and he basically tells you that you're gonna get yours, you filthy savior of savages, because he is a devout worshiper of Zenos. Well, he comes up and he starts kicking Yotsuyu, who's laying on the ground after we defeat her, and after shooting her twice, when he could have shot us, but he chose to shoot her. Anyway, she uses the last of her power to impale him on her ethereal swords that she had, that Tsukiyomi. And she kills him. In the end, we ended up getting our people back and working with the remaining Empire, who did not even care for Asahi. They were like, this guy's a dick. And they're like, as far as we're concerned, you know, no primal was summoned, and yeah, these negotiations went through without a hitch. And now we're in the aftermath of that. Oh, and Alphino, wants to go back with them, the Empire, to work with the Popularis to change the Empire from within. Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will long live in memory, and one that would never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and our people, we give you our deepest thanks. By the way, sorry for the missing some details in the middle there. There's just a lot that happened, and I was trying to convey it as best I could. Anyway, Asahi is a sack of shit. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you, I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. That Zenos lives is beyond a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest. Yet there is little to be done but wait for Alphino to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gosetsu by building a nation in which none need live in fear. I confess, I miss him already. But the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, They were never far from his thoughts. And in Yotsuyu, childlike Mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but the little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gosetsu devoted wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, I had hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning in Yotsuyu's fate, to deliver her from certain death, with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother? Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the kami is not for us to know. But what I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Tsuyu lived among us, and that she brought with her a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. Alphinaud's going around Empire selling his drawings of Y'shtola and the nude. Y'shtola became his first pinup. Oh no. Doma owes you a great debt, my friend. Thanks to you, we have everything we need to prosper. You and Alice must promise to visit us again soon. And Alphinaud too, when he returns from the Empire. Know that my thoughts go with him. However far his pilgrimage may take him, we have not seen the last of Gosetsu. Of that I am certain. Under the moonlight. I think it's time that we're going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Suns, let's call in at Ralgard's Reach. We should be the one to tell Lisa about Zenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Alright, to Ralgard's Reach. So my white mage is not quite ready for Shadowbringers yet. Not quite, in that she is about halfway through level 68. So if we don't get there today, or if we do get there today, it'll probably be near the end of stream, most likely. If we get there today, then Shadowbringers is going to be starting as Black Mage, and we'll head over to there as White Mage once we get to the proper level. But I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. Gosetsu encounters Alphinaud selling his Y'shtola drawings and beats the living fuck out of him. I don't think Gosetsu would do that, honestly. He'd probably just sit him down and give him a stern talking to. Miro, Alice, you're back! No Alphinaud? It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Zenos might still be alive. What? But that's... If this is a joke... Gods, this had better be a joke. Look. I know what I saw, alright? We all saw it. And here you are saying he's alive and well, living in the high life back in Garlemald? I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself. And while I might doubt the word of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Mira's. She saw the Crown Prince through the Echo, in a meeting that could only have taken place in the recent past. It was him, it was Zenos. Zenos is alive. That's probably what she meant, yes. No, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Zenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Thal's gilded halls. Whatever are you talking about? Thancred, what brings you to the Reach? Alphinaud had me lending a hand at the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on. just until operations were up and running. And now that they are, I thought I might look in on you before wending my way back to headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion that the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? Ugh, as much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. But if it will put the rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Zenos is buried up at the Bloodhow in the locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked so as not to upset the locals. Then it shouldn't be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Jeremy asks, does she mean once in a lifetime, as in he's probably getting murdered over there? That's essentially what she means, yes. At least I want to believe that's what she means, because... yeah. I feel like cremating him would have been the better choice, yes. Alright, so we haven't actually explored too much of the locks yet. I did finally go and get the flying quest done, though, as you can see. Cheshire Cat, hello! Welcome. I got a mini cat who keeps just subtly rubbing against my legs and then disappearing, but there she is. Hello, mini cat. Did you eat all of your food? Alright, let's go grave digging. Hey there, Alistair. What do you got to say? Most of the graves are grouped together, but they managed to find a lonely spot for Zenos, didn't they? My money is on writhing snakes. Possibly spiders. Let's prise it open and see what comes out. This is... gods, he had better be in here. Someone scrawled all over the stone wall a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. No one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied? Well then, we are presented with but one course of action, and we had best be sure we are not observed in doing it. Shall we begin? Did it reload 3 times to get stream load today? She ate all of my food, probably. She is a mini cat after. What are you doing, you weirdo?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
If there's no corpse then, are we to conclude the rumors are true? Aye. Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Zenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Althaus' theory of Ascian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you that they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Ascian is walking around in Zenos' body? It seems a distinct possibility. Once I put his grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Zenos was probably dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Robot needs to hear about this. If you find anything else, send word to me at Rauger's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. Yeah, let's leave Thancred to just lift this stone himself. See you, Thancred. Good luck with that. We didn't actually bury him. We tossed his body in a landfill. Yeah, you're gonna assume your character summoned Gruta to make sure there's a thunderstorm. Gruta can't actually summon thunder and lightning, though. She summons winds, and that's primarily it. Susano can do thunder and lightning, though. Ramu can do thunder and lightning. And rain. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Arianje over Link Pearl and gave him a full report. Istola's on her way and should be here any... Look, Istola, she's healed. Alice, Miro, 'tis good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that Anastasia now inhabits Zenos' body. A doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Miro? Nay, Alphino had the right of it. Word that his wisdom extended to a question of his own safety. Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy stronghold in the shadowy web of the Paragons. Like as not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but... I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Under the moonlight. We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead and the rite beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan. Every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of this star. Vector! Hello! What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. What are you? You lost your mind? Ah! I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent from my sins? Embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. Guy got himself a flying mount. Lunar cycle. Alright, what is this? We got okay, so that is the end of patch 4.3, by the way. We got a new title. Under the Moonlight. Yeah. Him flying away like that was funny to you? Yeah, so guys, we're gonna take our first break here, but before that, I'll stop the recording.